Hi, everyone. I'm Ray Vieda. We're going to start with a disturbing body camera of the deadly beating of Tyre Nichols in Memphis. It was just released in the last hour. Like many of you, the entire newsroom watched through that hour of footage. The video goes on to show officers eventually used a taser on Nichols. He then ran from the officers. The police department released 4 different videos. Another video shows the scene playing out from a street camera. From that perspective, you can see the officers punching and kicking him. In some of the videos, you actually hear Nichols yell for his mother. Nichols' mom spoke about the incident earlier today where she expressed heartache.
No mother should go through what I'm going through right now. No mother to lose their child to the violent way that I lost my child. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you're listening, I thank you for doing so. I am once again Kevin Mumphrey, and this is We Will Fix It in Post. I am here with my colleagues, Karsten Ferguson and Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
By the time this is released, you may have all, pretty sure at this point, everyone has saw the video. So first of all, I guess I'll start with you, Victoria. What was your reaction to seeing it?
It wasn't surprising, you know. That's what they do.
And Karsten, what was your reaction?
So I've seen stuff like that before, and it's like, it's never like a good thing to watch, you know, like, especially like just a brutal beating, especially for no reason really that I, you know, have heard, you know, like there's no justification for some stuff. And especially after they've like done certain things, and I watched a ton of this stuff. You know, like weird, like kind of police interactions, and it's like, man, why? And and it doesn't matter like the color or, you know, background or any of that stuff, because I mean, like what I watched like 2 weeks ago was a video, and these people had to settle out of court. The citizens have to pay for somebody else doing bad, where this cop got frustrated, pulled this guy's shorts down, and dry tased him in his junk. And I was like, what's the point of that? He wanted to inflict pain on this person. I don't care what you've been through. At a certain point, you can't do that. And that's exactly how I feel about the Memphis joint.
All right, just because you got a badge don't mean you can do everything.
Now, the fact that, again, like I said, we saw because they had like it's like neighbor footage, the overhead footage.
I don't know what that was. It like almost like a sky cam or something.
Yeah.
It was probably on a pole.
Like
a neighborhood watch type thing.
Okay, like a neighborhood watch camera. That makes sense. And then you got the body cam footage. And, I mean, the last few years we've seen quite a lot of this. Do you all feel like psychologically, just for having us see this, do you think it has like in the future this could have some sort of mental traumatizing like effect on us
society?
As society? Yes.
I mean, no, because it's just coming to light. I mean, I've seen stuff. I haven't seen anything of that extent, but I've seen like personal stuff done to certain people with my own eyes. So how's it, you know, now it's just in the light, you know what I'm saying? Now it's just on footage, you know.
So it's more like society is now seeing what you have grown up
certain
seeing.
Part of society.
Yeah, that's true. That's
a certain
true.
Part of society.
Because like if you were like, you know, in certain situations or whatever, you would see that on a normal basis,
right?
I mean, like think about somebody that comes from like a Watts or like parts of New York, or whatever, they were quote unquote over policed.
Yeah,
you know, like stop and frisk. You know, like where you're gonna have more interactions.
Yeah, I'm always kind of somewhat conflicted on it because it's like in one hand, I don't think I think they said I think somebody else had called because they had an issue with this same group, this Scorpion unit.
Yeah.
And calls were ignored. And it's one thing me telling you, these people are doing this, but with video, especially with graphic video like this,
Yeah.
it's like you can't refute it. Now because if they just told you this happened, you wouldn't have believed.
Yeah, but they would have dressed it up. Like
Right.
like what is it? There was an incident a week prior to that where this guy
Yes.
was
That's what I was
like
referring
coming
to,
out the
yes.
trailer. This guy was coming out of the trailer, and he happened to be a particular pigment, and like they said, I guess he had a flashlight or something like that. He had his hands up, but he had something in his hands.
Yeah.
And they're like, drop it, and then it's like bang bang, and then shot him in the stomach,
weird.
and he goes back in the trailer, and then his wife comes out. They don't shoot her, and I'm like, how do you have a hair trigger like that? Especially if you're like a safe distance away. I don't know where they were,
Yeah.
but then police come in, and they're like, oh, we're effed. And I've seen multiple videos where like stuff like that. Like I've seen like two videos off of one of the YouTube channels where they post raw videos where one of the guys was trying to cover up his body cam, and then they were whispering to each other, and then they planted drugs on this guy because this guy had just got out of surgery. He's like, hey, I can't necessarily get out the car. They roughed him up and opened up his stitches. And I was like, see, you thought he was lying. He's not lying. And they're like, oh man, we're gonna have to find something now. That's what the one officer said to the other officer.
And okay, you were bringing up the you said these like raw video YouTube channels.
Yeah.
So what exactly are these?
I guess like it's like a auditing channel or something like that, and they just post like raw videos, like a body cam, dash cam, like all police interaction stuff. Sometimes they stitch stuff together.
Yeah,
you can go to the cities because a lot of times it's public information.
Right, but you can just
But
type it in YouTube, and then it's just gonna pop up a whole bunch of them.
And it normally has like a logo like in the top corner or whatever. I don't know if
it's like a little triangle.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's the company that gets the footage that like captures the footage for the police officers, or if that's like the YouTube channel.
I have no clue.
Because every single video that I see,
is it the body cam?
It could be the company. It could be. I don't know. I just know that triangle is on every single video that I watch. Mostly they're like that.
Because I watch those videos.
Yeah. Like it's like watching Cops.
It's the new Cops is what it is.
It's about a realistic version.
I know it's raw. It's just straight up raw. Like however long it takes. And that particular channel, it only like it mostly highlights the what do you call it, the videos where we know something happens. So one particular outcome happens and we know that happens.
Right.
So like you're watching the raw and you can fast forward through it too because it's YouTube to get to a certain point.
Because it doesn't just do that. It might be just the company because dash cams and stuff like that. So when we had that big ice storm or whatever for a whole week, like you could see like the T-Dot or whatever. You can see their footage of them in their plowers or whatever. Or you can see the people on the road or people on the side of the road and stuff like that. And it still had that little thingamajig up, the little square.
It could be the company. Yeah.
Yeah. So
now you can see this stuff on YouTube, and then once it's shared, I mean, everybody's gonna share it on their social. You see it on your socials. You'll see it if you're watching the news. You're gonna see little flicks of it over and over. Do you think it may be a bit of overexposure?
No, like I think it's good for like everything to be in the light.
Yeah,
because like you don't want stuff like falling through the cracks, and I think it's putting a lot of stuff out there that a lot of people didn't think about because out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, it's the people who don't think it happens. So those people need to see what happens, and this happens all the time.
And also too, like I heard some really bad takes in the last 72, 48 hours, like really bad takes. I mean, like. There's always going to be people that like say crazy.
Now, are these
stuff.
Like Twitter takes or
some of them are Twitter takes and some of them are just like without actually seeing the footage,
right? And
coming out be like, well, if the person had just complied, but I'm like, if you don't comply, should you die? I'm like, seriously, like that's almost a question that you need to ask to some of these people, And I'm not one of these people to be like, whatever. Because I heard Charleston White, say 2 or 3 weeks ago on a video I was watching. He's like, it was almost like a foregone conclusion that like if police officers had to whoop you, they were gonna beat you up. And it's like if you watch Cops back in the 90s, that was pretty much the case. Like they wouldn't beat you within an inch of your life, but they're gonna rough you up.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something different. Cause like from what it looked like, from where I saw the footage, from the body cam, not the overhead, because that's like the second part.
Yeah.
But the original body cam deals, they were on 100 by the time they got down on that dude. Up to the car, ready to pull him up.
Real gang activity.
That's what it looked like. If you took the badges away, you'd be like, damn, man.
Didn't tell what gang it was.
Right. Police gang.
I think with having so many deaths on video that's out there, I mean, when the maybe 100 years from now, when they telling the history of this, you can't. Whereas years before, time before, you wrote the history and people told that you could write it how you wanted or whatever. But with the video of it, people seeing it throughout history.
Will they watch the video though? Is the thing. Will they watch the video or will they just read the account of the video? What's going to be the quicker thing?
Watching it?
No. That's not watching the video is not going to be quicker because if somebody has 140 characters, that's going to be a lot faster reading 140 characters. Well, not for some people, but. I'm just saying, not for some people.
Can't speak for everyone.
But reading 140 characters about this summarizes this whole thing doesn't tell you the whole story anyway. But I'm saying that's going to be a whole lot quicker than you watching this. And then there are 30-minute video
who just may not be desensitized to it and just may not just want to see it. They just rather just read it.
Well, you're for some people they're going to be numb. But, you almost do have to compartmentalize, to break down, analyzing it anyway, from any kind of change standpoint. Because if you're going to, act emotional in any way, then you're not going to get to, a place where you can actually think logically enough to change anything. Personally, that's my thought. But I'm what I saw, though, was, that wasn't, a regular police interaction. Even the most ardent criminal doesn't get done like that most of the time, probably 90-something% of the time. And I was like, yo, that looked crazy.
And so do you all remember the Rodney King video?
Yes.
Yeah, from
early, and I don't want to compare it to.
It was in the 90s.
Yeah,
it was in the 90s.
In the 90s, but I know the Chief had, I guess it was worse than Rodney King. I don't really want to compare the two. It just seems a bit insensitive.
You said the chief?
I think the police, before it came out, the police chief, I believe.
You talking about the Memphis police chief?
Yes. I believe she's the one that said when she saw it, she thought it was worse than
and she's the one that created that unit.
So
she created that unit. It's only been around for what, 2-3 years, something like that.
As long as she's been there.
As long as she's been there, because I think she had a unit. She had a unit similar in Atlanta, and it something similar. I don't know the details, but there was some issues with that, and it's what caused her to come to Memphis.
They were running up on people then too. I mean, and then if you think about it,
ain't that crazy though?
If you think about it, yo, why are you doing traffic stops? And why are you pulling anybody out of a car? If you're a specialized unit, does that mean you don't have anything else to do? Why were they there?
Crazy. That's crazy that she had a problem with it in Atlanta, so she came to Memphis.
Yeah, because I think they tried to. I don't know the details of it. What I remember hearing that they were trying to get rid of her in Atlanta, and it didn't work out. So she just ended up leaving there
and coming to Memphis.
Yes.
So he transferred a problem, basically. We don't know for sure, but I've heard people talk about that particular unit. I didn't know she was the one that started it there, allegedly.
Yeah.
Make sure I say
That's what
that.
yeah, that's what I was hearing. But the question I was wanting to get at, we saw what happened with the whole Rodney King situation. It was videoed, and everyone knew. I mean, we all, at least I remember feeling the way at the time. There's no way those guys are getting off. Everyone saw it, and yet they went to trial, and those men still got off.
Well, it's a new day and time.
So do you feel like, how possible do you feel, even with everyone seeing it, that, because I mean they're probably going to
they're not getting off. People are about to be made example of.
They already charged him with murder. They already charged him with murder, and they kicked him off the force. So like it was enough for him to do whatever, and for anybody to be like, oh, erase this, erase that. I don't know if that's necessarily the case in most cases, because I mean, look, for good or for worse, like policing, first responders, like, you know, not lumping them with this, but it's almost like a fraternity or brotherhood. So I'm like, would it be easy for you to turn in your family? You know, even if they're bad, depending on the level of like severity or whatever, it'd be really hard for you to turn in one of your family members, right?
It depends on who the person is, and it depends on how that person affects you.
Yeah.
Those are the two things right there.
100%. 100%. But I'm like, I mean, how many people are going to turn in their daddy?
If it affects me.
He robbed a bank. You be like, you know, like, I know where he is. He ain't over here, but I know where he is. You want to turn him in? I mean, a lot of people will be like, yeah, I'm going to turn him in. I remember that one time when I was 13. And he beat my tail.
Some people have more reasons than that.
I'm just saying, like, it could be something petty as that, whatever. Like, but like, for the most part, most people are probably not going to do that. Or better yet, even if mama did something, you going to turn in mama?
That's probably a better.
Yeah. Daddy don't get the big piece of chicken. You turning him in.
No. But so and I guess the kind of point I wanted to get this, what we all heard the term the revolution will be televised, or may say the television.
No, it won't be televised. Power be out because all the people tearing stuff up.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it hasn't been really like Memphis. There was not what they
much.
thought.
They didn't show it. They didn't show it. It was a lot. I mean, it wasn't a lot, but it was pretty bad.
Bad enough to where they would need the National Guard and everything.
I said it wasn't bad.
I was saying what,
but I'm saying it was pretty bad.
To think that nothing was going to happen. I mean, that whoever wins a Super Bowl, they're probably going to go out and break some stuff.
Which don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. Like when Kentucky won that national championship, like, and people burning couches, I'm like, why?
Or just like when Tennessee and they took the
goal.
They took the goal.
So I with stuff like that, I was thought of it as this: they have a lot of energy, and they don't know what to do with.
Yeah,
so
no place to direct
it. They
it.
Place it somewhere,
anywhere.
And in those moments, especially if it's like a team that ain't won nothing in Lord knows how long, your whole city may get tore.
That's stupid. That's
why would you go and destroy the city though?
I'm not tearing up my own stuff, and I'm not tearing up my neighbor's stuff for my team winning or my team losing. Because in some cases, like, your team can lose and they still tear up stuff.
Yeah.
So when they tear up stuff, lose, they tear up stuff. But if they lose, we're just gonna tear up a little bit more stuff.
But yeah. So when I was saying about the revolution, like, it may not be completely televised, which I mean it'll be talked about on television, but it doesn't necessarily need to be televised anymore because I got it on my phone. I got YouTube. I got Facebook. I they try to. I guess they're trying to censor or.
Yeah, they censor a bunch of stuff. Like I want to say the police scanner. They had like a bunch of those people running those CB radio groups and all that stuff. They censor a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they were getting like scoops on like stories as it was happening. So the police would call stuff in, or dispatchers, and they'd be like, oh, I know this detail about, real time what they're getting. And then they shut that down or whatever for they shut down quite a bit of those groups. And I'm like, one of them was the dude in Wisconsin that ran over the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was a couple groups that got shut down during that time.
So we be honest with you, we really don't know what's gonna happen as far as when this starts to go to detail and trial and stuff like that. So,
Now, do you feel like as a society that it could, the more we see this, the more desensitized we as a society get, that it will almost make the situation any kind of way worse?
I don't think that is the thing that will be desensitizing to society. I think the lack of seeing your fellow human as a person is what really desensitizes you. And it allows you to do this thing, to beat up this dude for, how long was it? 15 minutes straight?
I don't know.
At one point in time, they had to hold this dude up to get more shots in on him. I'm like, yo, that's wild, man. That is wild.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, regardless of what happened, because you know there's rumors circulating, regardless of what happened, or what led up to that, I'm like, at some point in time, you're gonna have to stop. You can't just keep on stepping on somebody and beating them up or whatever. You're gonna kill somebody. One punch can kill somebody. One of those punches could have killed somebody. One swing with a baton could have killed somebody. Even though this is like, you know, one of those quote unquote elite units or specialized units, whatever you want to call it. And
Gang.
I'm like,
Gang unit.
damn, man, like, yo, they teach you to beat everybody up like
No,
that?
they don't teach them to do that.
I don't know. Like, I mean, like, they were beating that dude up for a long time. That's not the first time they probably did that.
Yeah, but
That's probably not the first time. Like, what, they do they normally stop at 10 minutes? I'm like, yo, these dudes, they look crazy. And then the one dude got pissed off that he was pepper spraying the guy and got some on himself and one of the other officers, so that they had to take that frustration out on that guy. And I'm like, he's already on the ground. What are you doing pepper spraying him? I think he was already in handcuffs then at that point in time, too.
By the time he was, especially with the overhead cam, he was handcuffed.
And I'm like, what are you doing pepper spraying the dude that's like in handcuffs on the ground? And it's like, what, 6 of them?
it was more than 6. I'm gonna just put out. It was more than just 5 of them.
Oh, I know.
It started off with 5. And then like the 5, I think that's what it started off with.
Well, allegedly the one of the guys, whatever they originally got away from, didn't catch up to them until much later. Where the beat had already started.
There was a guy with a taser and he was white.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that part. Well,
I don't give a damn.
Like no, I was like, hey, look, allegedly.
I don't care.
No, legally we should care.
Okay. Well, legally, I halfway care.
Allegedly.
Now, and
come on, just give me one allegedly. One. Well, just give me one, VA. One alleged.
Alleged.
God,
so,
dang.
I thought you were gonna say legend has it. And
Legend has it.
I honestly should have started off with this question. Do you all believe that it should have been shown?
Yeah. I mean, you can choose not to watch it.
Right.
You can choose not to watch it, but you know what? Like stuff needs to come to the light, because there's some people that say this doesn't happen,
right?
And they are liars. Like, to say that it completely never happens, you are a liar, because we know it has happened, because there's other cases in the court system in many different jurisdictions where stuff happens, where stuff got out of control. And this isn't a double on law enforcement deal, but it's just like, like, they're held to a higher standard. It should be. They should be held to a higher standard.
Video has completely evolved a lot of things.
Yes.
And sometimes some people are just too afraid to do certain things with another video, that might save somebody.
Well, case in point, if it wasn't for a body cam and dash cam, there was a police officer 2 years ago. They got charged, or he got accused of doing something with a lady that he's pulling over for DUI. And after they showed that footage, then guess what happened? She apologized very quickly and said she should have never did what she did, and she should have never accused him. But he did nothing wrong. And then there was another police officer just recently or whatever, where he's like telling the girl to be quiet because she's offering herself up to him. But if there's no dash cam or whatever, guess what she can do? She can turn around after the fact and be like, oh, well, he took advantage of me or he did this.
Yeah.
All just out of spite. So I'm like, the cameras are good because if everybody knows somebody's watching, they're going to conduct themselves as such.
And I don't know if they have something like this where, you know how, like, court proceedings, like, court records are, like, they're public. Like, anybody can get them. I feel like dash cam video, that y'all might have a place for where it should be public record where the...
Well, most a lot of municipalities it already is. And if it's not or whatever, you can file a Freedom of Information Act in a lot of cases, even federally. I mean, that's a reason why the January 6th video is getting released. The Freedom of Information Act stuff and people like trying to insinuate, regardless of what happened there. You know, that not trying to get on that, but there's a bunch of video coming out on that stuff. But you know, back to this, it should be in the public record. Because it's in the public's interest to know what's going on.
Right.
And anybody that wants to shield it from the public or whatever, I'm gonna look at them sideways. Because I'm like, hey, I don't have to look at it if I don't want to. But if I want to look at it, I should have the ability.
And the thing is, we pay for that stuff.
Yep.
So how come we can't have access to what we pay for?
Yep.
Like, if I'm paying for something, I need to have not full, but I need to have enough access to that to see what's going on. If you taking my money that I work for and you taking it out of my check that I really don't want you to take out of my check, you think I'm not going to want to have access to that?
Well, you know, some of the arguments that I've heard online too, and some of the friends that I have or whatever for a long time, is like, why are we doing certain things? Like, I mean, a bunch of people don't know or have heard of it before, but civil asset forfeiture. So like, in some cases where like a municipality gets to, or the state, municipality, police, whatever representative is, seizes your items, you have to prove like either in or outside of a court of law that you weren't doing anything wrong to get your stuff back. And there's plenty of cases like Institute for Justice takes on a lot of these cases. They talk about a bunch of this stuff. They got a YouTube channel, and there's like 2 or 3 other organizations that actually handle on the legal side for some of this stuff to help fight some of this stuff. Because I mean, that's an uphill battle. How many people got money for a lawyer?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Especially like for a lengthy case. I mean, like
them lawyers can run for like a few $100s an hour.
Hey, shout out to Tank the Bounty Hunter. But anyways, it's a YouTube. He's a bounty hunter. But anyways, I love the fact when he breaks into somebody's house or he has the authority to come kick your door in. You know, if you co-sign for this person. But anyways, I love it when these certain people were like, well, I'm going to call my lawyer. I know for a fact that you don't have money for a lawyer. So what kind of lawyer do you have?
Like, first and foremost, that's not a flex. And then 2, why are you in the scene agitating this person that in the moment, that lawyer ain't going to help you in that moment.
Right.
In that moment. And this ain't like one of those, comply no matter what kind of things. It's like, no, survive the situation no matter what. So I'm like, hey, some people need to, they need to settle down in some of these cases. Because I'm like, you ain't going to meet fire with fire, especially somebody that's known to break the rules. Oh, they're going to break them on you.
But just think about it. You ever seen them, and this is like Raw TV, to where they holler out, well, I'm going to call my lawyer. Like, your house is in the ghetto. What lawyer do you have?
Public defender.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You gonna call? Okay.
Technically.
Yeah.
But as we...
So just say call your public... I'm going to call my public defender.
Yeah. But as we wrap this up, want to get any final thoughts you all want to get out?
Man, it's horrible seeing that at any point in time. And like a larger conversation needs to happen, like around like, you know, how we actually do business. And then like I've even talked to like certain friends or whatever, because, you know, like, hey, what can I do to, you know, to avoid some of this stuff or do something. Is there any way to, like, you know, maybe sponsor like some police officers for like some hand-to-hand stuff, like in a jiu-jitsu deal, so they'd be more confident? Is there any way to like put people, like, you know, into like the community, like where the first interaction ended somebody's bad moment, so that the person might actually know this person and they won't be amped to, like, you know, they're like gonna look at them, you know, if they're at the moment where they can actually talk to this person, whatever,
Right.
like to actually de-escalate,
Right.
and they're gonna have some kind of relationship before like the traffic stop, or even like, you know, should we even be having you know, like revenue being counted on by getting so many tickets? Because I don't know, that's isn't that like a perverse incentive? So if you have more interactions, your number goes up on, like, you know, the times it could go bad.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, video is something that's that is used more now. You know, back in the day we didn't have video. So the fact that this was caught on video is a good thing. It's a good thing because look what would have happened. You know, the family would have came out and said, "Yeah, he got beaten," and then the police department would have been like, "Well, we don't know what you're talking about." But show the footage. The footage came out and they were like, "Yeah," because a lot of people thought the family, not a lot, but some people thought that the family was just, you know, BSing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, and I want to just touch on this real quickly. You know, rest in peace, Shaquilla Robinson, right? The lady who was killed in Mexico, and that was on video. And because of that video, and it wasn't police video,
it was video they shot.
Because of video they shot or whatever, they even made the Mexican police look bad because they probably try to wrap that up because they didn't want that on they docket or whatever. Even though they weren't responsible for it,
Right?
They just, you know, it's bad for business if somebody dies in this hotel resort. So, you know, shout out to her and her dad, you know, like in the family and all that stuff.
And that's another thing. A lot of people telling themselves they shot that video in there.
Mm-hmm.
They told on themselves.
Well, on that somber note, I'm going to go and wrap this up. I'd like to thank you all once again for listening with my colleagues Karsten Hyde Farguson
Yeah.
and Victoria V.A. Jones.
What's going on?
And that is a wrap.